All right. Well, thank you for making time to come to our meeting again today. We talked last time about focusing on our third graders. Ms. Kelly, can you be our timekeeper today to keep us on track for our meeting?
Our time right now is 1:24 p.m.
So, Ms. Lauren, if you can note that in our agenda notes. All right, great. I want to just, before we go into our review of minutes from our last meeting, I want to just start with our wins for this week. We always want to just start off with a positive of just how our kids are doing in our groups. So, Ms. Kelly, did you have a win for the week?
Yeah, so our CAS website is really slow. That's the website we use to practice for the SBAC test. We were having a hard time keeping the students' attention engaged, so we went ahead and created a slideshow to keep the focus going a little bit better, and that seems to be working a lot better.
We'll check in with how that's going next week. Mrs. Wright?
Well, I am very excited because we're going to be doing Read Live, and the group that I have, they're really liking it. They're very excited, and they can't wait to be on the Chromebooks and start doing what we need to be
Great. So it sounds like you have something that's really going to be engaging for them for their intervention.
Yes, we went over all the steps we need to follow, and they're just, I think they're ready.
Fantastic. Ms. Lauren?
While working with the third graders, they had to come up with sentences, and they were using pretty basic language, and so I instructed them to kind of use more academic words and academic language, and they were able to, on their own, come up with really actually higher academic language than I expected, and put together these like really great sentences for our SBAC prep, so that was awesome.
That's great. That's always great when we see them really taking those vocabulary words and working on. So in our last meeting when we met, we kind of just met to form this group to be working together over the next few months to focus in on some student needs. And one thing I wanted to do from our minute notes last time is we established some norms. We brainstormed together some ideas about how we want our meeting to run, just making sure that we're all being respectful of each other. So I brought a copy of our meeting norms. I made it a poster for you guys to be able to keep in your red binder to bring to our meetings each time. And I know that Mr. L wasn't able to attend today, so Ms. Kelly, I'm going to have you make sure that gets in his red binder.
Okay.
And just as a review of our meeting norms, we talked about that we want everyone to have a positive attitude, and that's why we start with our wins. Respect all ideas being shared. Be an active listener. We want to start and end on time, so Ms. Kelly will have you be our timekeeper to make sure we end at our 1:45 time today. And that we clarify expectations and next steps. So I'll kind of facilitate that, making sure that when we leave the meeting, you guys know exactly what our next steps are. We'll go out and work on those steps and then come back for our next meeting. Any input on the norms from our group? These reflect our notes from last week?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to move on. In our agenda today, I wanted us to review our established norms. And then I wanted to just make some notes about our third grade data. So we came together as a group to really look at concerns with our third graders. Our third graders are going to be starting the SBAC testing for the first time this year. We just did our data assessments, and we've met and talked a little bit, but third grade specifically, I have up here our data spreadsheet, and we're looking at our third graders, only 49% of them are proficient on their reading inventory, and that's their reading comprehension test. We had 15% at a basic level and 19% at the low basic. The positive, we do have 17% in that advanced range, which is great. But for SBAC, we need to see that they're in that proficient range and advanced range to kind of trigger that they'll be successful on that assessment. So we really want to look at some ways that we can support our third graders in their reading comprehension. I have a few ideas, but I wanted to just kind of hear from you guys if there is anything that you're seeing is a need for your third grader groups right now, things that they're struggling with.
Yeah, my third grade group, when they're reading a prompt, they're not sure how to approach it, how to break it apart, kind of that kind of thing with it. So yeah,
and some strategies for that. Are you guys seeing that as well? And I'm hearing that from other teachers as well, that they get a prompt, a writing prompt, or a reading question, and they're just not sure how to attack it. So one thought I have for this group is we could really look at thinking maps. This is our second year using thinking maps here at San Benito, and using those, we'll work together, maybe making some lessons together, using thinking maps to help them break apart their writing prompts and also their reading questions. And so that's what I would like to propose to this group that maybe we focus on for this next week, is taking a look at some SBAC prompts and looking at how we can approach that with some thinking maps. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next agenda item. So, we'll be looking, I'll put on our notes that our next steps for next time are gonna be to review the thinking maps. We can review the most common standards asked during SBAC content tends to be compare and contrast, explain why, and we'll pull up the CAS website and kind of take a look at what our third graders are going to be asked to do. Okay? All right. I'm going to move on to our next section. Stop this.